Well, Pat Olson with you as we continue here on the Arizona State campus. The USF Dons, a gutty 66-65 win on the road against Arizona State. Coach Todd Golden alongside. It's never easy to win on the road. It wasn't easy here in this ball game. You guys put up that big late 9-0 run. Meeks the big three to give you the lead, and then Reevney making three big free throws, and then somehow Arizona State was given a reprieve in the late going. I thought Reevney had secured a rebound and secured the game, so you had to make an extra stop at the end. But your team picks up the win. Your thoughts on this ball game?
I'm just proud we found a way. You know, we've had some struggles, over the course of the year, and thought we cleaned some stuff up. But the last two games, these past 2 days, we've kind of let that ugly head rear again in regards to the ball handling issue. And we've played a lot of teams that are really good defensively. I think Arizona State's elite defensively. I really do. I think that's why they've been playing so well lately, why they were able to beat Oregon, GCU, and Creighton the way they have the past week. And they've been performing like a top 30 team in those games. So they kind of figured it out after the rough start. But they bothered us. I thought, they obviously bothered JB a little bit, bothered Yalian at the post. And we just got to get better there. And the message of the team after the game was, hey, like we're not playing anywhere near our potential yet. We won on the floor of a Pac-12 team. We should have, or we could have won last night, and we have to stop making it harder on ourselves.
Coach, let's talk about the way the game ended, because you allude to the 21 turnovers, but I think the last 3 or 4 minutes you guys didn't turn the ball over, and that was probably a key to being able to put up that late run and get the win.
Yeah,
right?
We went on a 9-0 run and found a way to win. It was pretty simple. I told the guys at the last time out, I said, listen, if we don't turn the ball over and we get we become a first shot defense, we don't give them second chances, we're going to win the game. It's that simple. I didn't think they could score enough to beat us, and sure enough, I think we went down 8. Was it 7 or 8?
I think it was 6. It was
6?
a 6-point deficit before the 9-0 run.
Gotcha, yeah. And then obviously, Dima hit a huge 3, kind of loosened him up a little bit, and then Meeks' 3, got him into a timeout up 3. I'm really proud of Dima, very proud of him. I think he's stuck with it. He was out for 4 months this summer, battling his foot injury, and he's had a tough struggle coming back. He was a starter, all-league guy. He hasn't been up to that level. We're trying to get him back. It's going to take a little bit, but he stepped up tonight. He was great defensively, good in the zone, hit a big shot, and then to hit all 3 of those free throws in that moment.
And at that time.
Well, I explained to the team, and then, for even an 80% free throw shooter to make all 3 of those, that only happens about 50% of the time. I think that's the math, something like that. So for him to do that, my gosh, it's I'm proud of him for it.
You mentioned a little bit about the zone. Let's talk about that strategy, because I felt, and so did Jim, that when you went to the zone, it slowed down the tempo of the ball game, and it really made it tough on Arizona State to find baskets.
Yeah, my concern going into the game was transition. I thought they're obviously a very athletic, quick team, and if we let them get out in transition, that was going to be a bad formula. And then thought zone, was something that we had in our back pocket, because I was worried about getting in foul trouble and sending them to the line. Those were, if we held them out of transition, we didn't get to the foul line, I didn't think they would make enough baskets to beat us. And so zone provided that. We got in early foul trouble. Josh had 3, Khalil had 3, Yalian had 3. That zone allowed us not only to kind of slow their momentum and take them out of their flow, but it allowed us to keep guys on the court. We had, Josh fouled out.
Yeah.
He was out there with 4.
For
sure. These guys are out there playing with a lot of fouls, though, because they can't win the game for us on the bench. And that's what the zone was really helpful and allowed us to kind of squeeze some minutes out of those guys.
Give us a sense of what it was like in the locker room. I know last night after the 1-point loss, you addressed, hey, we got to turn around right back tomorrow. We can't hang our heads. Now you get a 1-point victory. You're on the opposite side of that. What was it like in there?
Adulation, excitement, enthusiasm. It's been this has been a long stretch, of non-league, playing a lot of games in a short period of time and then getting stretches off. It's been a little choppy. And I was a little worried we were fatigued after last night. Even though we hadn't played in a while, we were dragging a little bit. And we had a little bit of that in us today. But, again, we were just slightly one possession grittier than we were last night.
Yep, there you go. Coach, you got another ball game coming up in a few days. We know how it works. You finish a ball game, and out comes the computers and the watching film and all that. You got Southern Illinois coming up. Perennially a good program over the years.
Sure.
It'll come into your building and a rare midday ball game, 2 p.m. tip-off coming up on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's it's an important game for us. Obviously, they all are. Especially at this juncture in the season. I think, Southern Illinois is a tough, gritty group. Brian Mullins, who I actually competed against, he played at Southern Illinois when I was at St. Mary's. He's doing a good job kind of getting that program back going to where it was when he was playing. And, we've said this a lot, but it's going to be about toughness. It's going to be about taking care of it and rebounding. And I have to believe we're going to improve there. I just believe in our guys. I believe in our talent. I believe in our coaching staff that we'll address what we need to and find a way to take better care of the ball, because if we do, I think we have a chance to get really good really quick.
Jamari Bouye struggled a bit here this afternoon, but the nice thing is other guys picked it up around him. He's not always going to pour in 27 or 30, and obviously he couldn't find a shot here today a little bit. But Meeks making 5 3-pointers off the bench. You alluded to Reevney, the 3 big free throws. And, even though Shabazz maybe didn't have a great percentage by volume, he was able to get a lot of shots up and score a fair amount of points for you. Yeah,
JB's, listen, he's a pro. He's going to get drafted. I expect him to be a first-round pick when it's all said and done. This is just the maturation process of going from being someone who they know and truly key on to, oh my gosh, we got to throw the kitchen sink at this guy to stop him. And that's what he's got in these past 2 ball games. And he'll adjust, we'll adjust, and we'll come out Wednesday and we'll be better prepared for that. And I expect him to play really well on Wednesday when we get back home.
All right, Coach, as I always say, savor the moment. That charter flight home is probably going to feel like about a 20-minute flight, because everybody on that plane is going to be sky high after this one.
I'll tell you.
And, hey, 11-1.
Yeah,
it's sounding pretty darn good.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we were disappointed for losing last night, but to come out on this trip and split it and get a road win, you'll take that any day of the week.
All right, that's USF head man Todd Golden, the Dons.